Na'Vi chose to go Radiant on this game. It was their decision to do so. And I know, I think the win rate's a little bit higher on Radiant of late in this patch, but Vega just love it when they can just try to free Ursa on the Dire side. You pop in, you take Roshan, you don't do it from your level 1. We're not looking at that for Vega. We're looking at it for the perfect time when he's got the Morbid Mask, you're moving behind the tier 2 tower mid, smoke up, run in, take Roshan, and it's so quick. It's so quick with that ultimate of Ursa that you just can't contest it. And you can't scout, like, what have they got to scout for it as well?
Well, Chen creep, but that's
true.
The most likely thing.
Are you going to commit a Chen creep? You might better get like someone like the Undead Minions from the Troll Summoner. Like that's one way you could check out for it without having to sacrifice your presence on the lane.
Now, go ahead.
His Enrage is really useful this game. They don't have any Blink initiators, which is a big deal. Like they have maybe Yule's initiation from Leshrac or Charge or you know, Gyrocopter with Missile, but those are all pretty weak, and he can always get his Enrage off in fights. And if he can do that, he's always going to survive and then just get out of control. Like ideally with an Ursa, you just want to kill him before his Enrage. But I don't think that can happen this game.
Great.
Killing the further heal strategy, they ban away the Dazzle on the side of Vega Squadron. Lion being banned away by Na'Vi. I was just about to say, one of the biggest problems with an Ursa is that your best decision is going to be kiting him as much as possible. Do you guys feel like Ursa is susceptible to being kited here? There is a bit of lockdown from the Spirit Breaker. Leshrac and Gyrocopter can focus a little bit more on movement.
Not with the SD ban.
Well, SD and Dazzle are both taken away, so the Dazzle is good against Ursa because the Dazzle never has to stand anywhere near the team fight, and you can just drop a Grave on somebody when the Ursa goes in. Same thing as a Shadow Demon, pretty much. You just deter him from killing somebody in that 4-second enrage period or 3.75, whatever.
Can you even kite away from an Ursa when you got a Disruptor on your own team? Like, he's always going to bring the food to the Ursa. Like, it's...
I mean, what's likely to end up happening during team fights in the later game is the Spirit Breaker will have to go on Ursa every single time. Like, you just charge and ult him, even if he's BKB, to prevent him from just killing somebody straight up. Because other than that, they actually have no way of disabling him through BKB.
Yeah, ideally you want disables that don't actually do damage, but all their disables are like dual or double as damage. Like Disruptor's Glimpse is a good example, or like Disruption. Like those are all pretty good spells to kite an Ursa, but like if you want to use Nether Strike on him, there goes all your damage. If you want to use Echo and Fissure, there goes all your damage on Earthshaker.
In which case, you've got nothing really left for the Queen of Pain, and potentially a last pickup. Vega Squadron still looking at that last support. We do have a Chen and Earthshaker for Na'Vi that feels...
Rubik, maybe?
Yeah, Rubik just feels right. Like, it's going to stop the push. There's so much great stuff to steal. Perfect counter up against SB in the early stage because it's instant. And if you do have to play around like with positioning, you've already got the Clockwork, and then you add Telekinesis on top of that and the Disruptor. It's... I don't see a better hero.
There's a lot of really good stuff to steal this game.
I like Sand King too. I think Sand King's pretty good counter.
Sand King's nice, yeah.
Other options...
That'll at least give you a jungle option too, which Vega don't have at the moment. I guess that's 7. Actually go for a Bounty Hunter. It's the classic counter to the Chen.
So with that last pickup, we have our full drafts for each side. Gentlemen, what do you think about game number 2? Leading anyway, Draskell, starting with you.
I like Vega's draft a lot. It's because I said Na'Vi were going to win, right? And I don't want to like jump the train. I still think Na'Vi are going to win, but I do think Vega's draft is better.
Okay, Toby.
I'm feeling secure.
Toby, so happy.
I think Vegas draft is a little bit better. It's just, you know, they have no real good way to deal with the Ursa. You know, Clockwork kind of counters the Earthshaker, Bounty Hunter kind of counters the Chen, so they have good counters all around.
What was your call from before? Like, they have to outplay them if they're going to win. That's what it feels like right now for Na'Vi. If Na'Vi don't outplay Vega in the lanes, then Vega are going to get so much momentum on this map, on this game. It's just going to be like Roshan after Roshan, Aegis after Aegis, win, and then eventually they'll come up and take the high ground, and you'll end up seeing like this 45-minute victory coming in for Vega.
You know what? Now that Navi's actually in the clear for going to Seattle, they stopped trying. It's like, okay, once they're on the brink of no. Okay, Na'Vi, they only perform well under pressure. They're not actually pressured because they can still make it through.
That's very, very true.
Sure.
But there's also
the Na'Vi curse.
It's okay. Na'Vi have been cursed by many other things. Laziness is definitely
no. I'm not saying they're lazy. I'm just saying they're cursed. Right? They're only struggling when they're underdogs, and they have a very difficult path to advance. Now that there's an easy path to advance, they're going with the path with the most resistance. It's definitely not that they're not trying.
I don't know how I
Come
feel
on.
about that.
We're gonna get lynched when we go to Ukraine.
All right, well, we'll see whether or not the lack of pressure makes it so that Na'Vi fall apart. Our panel seems to believe that Vega Squadron 2 had the advantage once again in the draft, but we'll see what happens. Game 2 going to be all Toby and Merlini.
Yeah, man. Let's get enthusiastic.
They want to go to TI the hard way.
It's the hardest way. 2-0 down. We come back. We hit a 5-game victory. It's going to be amazing.
That's actually not true. They could have gone through open qualifiers if they really wanted to make it hard. Enough of that.
That would have been the ultimate like conversation around the water cooler at the Dota 2 cafe. It was just like, well, okay, what's going on? Now we went to open qualifiers. They didn't actually qualify. They didn't get directly invited. It would have caused a massive ruckus. All right. Let's look at our game. So Vega, they're going to run this 2-1-1 laneage as well as the floater solo, becoming more like the unflushable against Na'Vi. And Arstal knows it. He knows he's going to be stalked. But look how much Arstal's bringing to the jungle. 1 shared tango and 2 tangos of his own.
He doesn't have any sentries. Usually you'll see teams double up on sentry or dust. Maybe there's one on Spear Breaker. I don't think so, but...
Did they sacrifice for... Yeah, they sacrificed for Seneko. So Seneko can have his full set of tangos as well as his boots. And, okay, well, that's actually really bad for Solo. He just had all of his mana burnt by the Satyr, which Artstyle picked up.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really fortuitous. Cool.
How cultured, Ben.
Oh, that Ursa, a cosmetic. It makes him look like a I don't even know what you call that. Dinosaur hunter? Wearing his spoils? Tribal?
He's getting tribal in here. Alright, so Mag is having a great time. I want to watch him closer than anybody else. Even though like Solo is going to be an absolute nuisance to art style, it's the clockwork transition for me, which is going to make or break this for Vega. The Queen of Pain battle in the mid's kind of 50-50. Like there's going to be burst damage trading back and forward, but it's the ability for Mag to get caught out by Seneco's fissure, and that will allow Horvorce just to get the full rocket barrage off and potential kill. Dandy, good lightning damage, but yeah, this is that trade-off where they both will kill each other or bring each other within an inch of death.
He has a salve. The Queen of Pain doesn't. So that's a little bit of a big deal. I thought it was a bigger deal last game, but...
He just has to wait, though.
I mean, he only has 450 gold, not 630 like last time, so that's a little bit different.
It's also waiting for the salve because the Shadow Strike was on him. Fidge, you're going to keep Mag out, and Solo's now going to battle up against Arsal. Wait, no. Arsal got the extra damage from the Harpy. Seneko is here, but Solo claims the first blood. He looked for the rune as well. Mag will come in and steal that one. Chen still had the Harpy up, so revenge in death is applied, and careful, man. Actually, really careful when you have to stack up like that. The first blood goes to your floating bounty hunter, and maybe even a follow-up. Danny being glimpsed back here. No one's got no more burst damage, but Seema right in the back of him with the hailstone. Danny running for the trees where it is not safe. He will merely be manure for the Na'Vi forest.
Man, that's big. That was a nice rocket by Clockwork. That's what actually gave him the first blood, and you'll usually see a lot of Clockworks go the 1-1-0 build, especially when supports are kind of contesting you, so you have to kill threat. But Mag, again, very good player. He analyzes the situation correctly and just has some unpredictable damage onto the Chen, because Chen would have killed him with the Harpy. Harpy had his cooldown running on his lightning, and if they didn't have that, he would have died. They would have gotten first blood, probably as well as the rune. So instead, Vega get the first blood and the rune.
Vega, they won't give this momentum up. Seneco's moving up from Mag again, but Solo's right behind him into the battery assault. The Cogs pushing back a force. He can go for the flag cannon now in the rocket barrage, which does have Mag isolated for the moment, but how much damage is there? There's that rocket barrage finally kicking in. Seneko, Mag around the corner. He gets a double stun, but is there still enough? There is enough. It's a 1-1 trade-off. Bounty and Jari that wants to claim the kills, and Solo, well, he sacrificed his offlaner for it, but and it was also Clockwork who died first, so all the experience goes away at the bounty.
And again, the Vega supports are making plays. The Disruptor coming in with the haste, the Bounty Hunter getting a kill, scouting out the Chen, of course, and just making sure that the lane for Quap will be secured. We saw how much Dendy dominated some typical mid laners, and this time it's going to be a little bit different.
No one's having a real rough run. He has to go down for the 4-minute rune. He can't even stick around for the creep wave. He's just going to miss like 2 or 3 CS by doing it.
I don't know. Gyro's going down there.
Yeah, he could actually die if he goes there. And it was the rune he wanted too. It was a nice little double damage rune.
And it looks like Earthshaker won't be able to pick up that one on top.
Bounty's having fun in the jungle again. He's stalking. Seneko glimpsed away and then denied. So unable to be picked up, but Seema actually trapped in here, and there is the stun available, and Seema, he just TP's out. Seneko can stop this though, and he will do so. So Seema, he'll walk away. The charge is coming in from the Spirit Breaker, coming in from the west, and Seema has to run to the tier 2 tower. He does at least have the boots. Munch on the Tango, looking for any kind of life. There's no TP support for him, and Funny's quite happy to accept this, even though the Earthshaker will steal it. It is going to be a kill going the way of Na'Vi.
Nice block from Seneko. I thought that Dendy was close behind to follow that up, but nope.
Nice little send back. Solo feels so comfortable here in the mid. With that sentry ward down, he knows he's not being watched at all.
Now Quap's level 6. They really have to watch out for this Slash, but they've been really good about having sentries in mid. They still have one there.
Charge in. And Pasha wants to go for that Earth Shock, but he can't do it anymore. The stun missing from Seneko. He's got the bonus damage, but they have to walk around the fissure. And who's got the movement speed here? I think it's actually Seneko in a way, but Funnick into the tree lines. No one. One scream will do the work, and there it is. He'll take the kill up against the Spirit Breaker. And Seneko glimpsed away from Pasha, but Artstyle rotated all the way in to come in. And the faith was tested, and he was not found worthy. The Ursa is brought down underneath his own tier 2 tower. As Seneko wants more. He knows no one came up here with little to no mana, so Artstyle, he's going to charge his way in and find Seema in the tree line, but actually it's the greatest position in the world for no one. He'll finally reveal himself, but now not the greatest position. He came in a little bit too early, and Seneko finds him out and kills him off. While Artstyle very, very deep here in the tree line. There's not much to play around with like Seema. He's got himself a wall available in 1 second time, and this might buy him a little bit of space. Yes, it will, but the Troll's still there to give the vision to Artstyle. So one attack, he'll end up dropping down. Vega still haven't brought in any more support, while Na'Vi have brought almost their entire team to this top lane.
Does Ursa not have a TP score? They really needed like Ursa or Clockwork, someone to TP in. He just left their supports out to die. And I mean, the Queen of Pain too. You cannot afford to let her get dove like that.
Well, Ursa died underneath this tier 2 tower, but he definitely spawned up before that.
Imagine if he TP'd, Queen of Pain gives him his bottle, and she's able to bottle up and then continue to keep fighting. That would have been a completely different fight for them, but I mean, maybe Ursa just doesn't want to TP in and just kind of feed the feed train. So, I mean, you can understand his reasoning there, but it looked like pretty dire for Na'Vi.
Vega might have just made the call. It's just like, yo, boys, let's just slow everything down. Like, we're feeding a couple of kills here and there. Remember, they're the ones that are meant to have the advantage with these kind of plays. Like, Avorst, Solo's right behind him. The cooldown's going to come, so there'll be some nice little chip damage into Mag. But that's going to be all she wrote. That's Avorst going down. He's the highest net worth over on Na'Vi, and that's where Vega can get back into this game. It's the rotations, it's the pickoffs, it's the Clockwork and the Bounty working together, because you don't even need the rocket to tell the enemy hero that you know where he is. The Bounty can do that for you, and then Ursa can get the space to get that Morg Mask, jump into Roshan, and take it from there. Hey! Goodbye, Dandy. It was really nice knowing you. No one. He should still be fine. The Fissure is going to block him up. At the same time, Seneco's going to have a long run, and it's 5 seconds to blink for no one. Jara is too far away. The Queen of Pain will escape.
And on top of that, they're getting a lot of map control. They pretty much control the Radiant jungle. They just straight up deleted Dendi right under his own tower. So that's really good for Ursa. Ursa likes this kind of pressure. He thrives in this sort of condition where he can just do Roshan whenever he wants. And
there's that Morbid Mask of his.
And now it's like 8 minutes. He could smoke any time from like 8 to 12 minutes and take Roshan out in 20 seconds, and you're none the wiser. So you really need to be able to take control of this map. And Navi's playing very aggressively with constant charges here and there.
Bounty's in trouble. Bounty's in a lot of trouble. He walked underneath the sentry ward as his SP was charging in. He was moving for the Queen of Pain, who blinked down south, and looks like he just caught him out for a moment. But this is what I was talking about with Pasha. You get more Mars, you get smoke. It's only 8 to 10 minutes is the perfect window for him, and he's going to take Roshan in the next like 10-15 seconds. It will not take him long.
And they already had a drop in reserve and a sentry mid, so it's pretty unlikely that they've been able to make their way.
They're pretty close though, and this is that Chen creep. This is exactly what they're talking about. Come in, have a look, and see what's going on. You do commit a full creep to it, but now Na'Vi will probably even pull players off the top lane. Is this really worth it? Because is it the Clockwork? I think he's up on top lane now, farming up. It's actually the Bounty Hunter, so they're getting him level 6.
This is one of the big problems with fighting against an Ursa. Like, he can always do Roshan, but you cannot.
Yeah.
And like, he can just sit there, and you need like 2 or 3 people there to contest him. And then he can just do Ancient since it's right there. He can just go farm another lane and just wait for another opportunity.
Push back on Seema. It's enough to help get the kill, but Dendi might get isolated. The cogs from Mag, there's no mana for it. Nothing is available for him. He had the battery assault, but not enough for the control factor. And Vega giving a double kill over to Dandy.
Yeah, easy. Nice plays by Funnick. I mean, Funnick has just been charging people constantly and getting kills, and Vega, they're always outnumbered. And, you know, Bounty Hunter's really good at getting information, but the thing is, you don't actually need the information. You know what Na'Vi are going to do. They're going to charge, they're going to kill, they're going to try and protect Roshan, or sorry, contest Roshan.
It does make the Bounty Hunter pick up that question mark. Like we were looking at something more like Rubik, someone who has control, waiting for Na'Vi to run at you, but can combo with the other heroes, where Bounty Hunter is more of the, I have to do something on the map, I have to be active, which means running into potential peril.
Yeah, and he's just not as good. Like, they had people there to try and counter gank for the Disruptor, but it just couldn't stop the charge, couldn't stop another strike, and he got all his spells up before Glimpse.
Here comes that charge again. They're looking for the bounty. And he's moving into a position where they could potentially kill him off. The gyrocopter is in the neighborhood, so he could go a little bit further east, but they end up canceling the charge, and Solo will walk into Radiant territory. And he's got perfect vision with his own Observer Ward. But where's that sentry? It's a little bit further up towards the mid-tier 1 tower. So he does not want to come in range of this. And I think he's actually poking around, trying to see if there is vision. And now in comes just Sonic Wave, and that's a track kill. That's actually quite big. That's really good money for them. And it's Bounty Hunter who ends the streak of Chen. Wait, Chen had a streak? How many kills did he pick? I know he picked off the Ursa behind the tier 2 tower. Okay, yeah, it was actually not too shabby.
Yeah, and track kill, Bounty Hunter is at the coveted level 6, and they had to deal with that Centaur creep in some way just so they can do Roche ASAP. Well, looks like someone's getting charged on top. Earthshaker's there to follow up.
And there'll be the Ursa himself. Saneko looking to start with a fissure. He is going to be able to connect. And Funnick, where's this TP support? Well, there's no tier 1 tower, and he's just raged up. That is one angry bear. Careful about the life points. They can be taken away, but then the bash connects in on Pasha. He wants to Urshock and get himself some space, but instead just does as much damage to Saneko before death. The track is up on Saneko. There's a lot of rotation on the way in here. Saneko doesn't he should have Fissure available now. Throws out the Echo Slam, controlling up Mag, but disrupt the wall and ulti. Funnick is trapped inside of it. Saneko can be dragged back to the northern part of it, and with a scream from no one, they can mop them up. It's a double kill coming in for Mag of all people, after he was the one looking to be dead to rights, and that's with a track kill, but there's more fun to be had. That was a track of Dendy coming in, but the fun is not over yet. Dendy, another track kill. They can just finish him off. He's taking down the Shadow Strike, and they're going to get the bonus money. There's a lot of heroes up there for Vega, all it's getting the bonus cash.
What a timely regeneration rune. Very nicely played by the Queen of Bane, just taking his life to the limit there.
Almost 1,400 gold for the Bounty Hunter for that kill. And they're going to get more, because his art style, you Shadow Striked up, and I think there's also an Orb of Venom on that Bounty Hunter, so you're not running away from him. Yeah, you got Earn Touch, you got everything. Solo's movements have been absolutely superb. He deserves to be the #1 net worth on his team. Pasha, he doesn't really deserve this, but he's a bear, and this is just like hatred against bears right now by Na'Vi. They're hunting him all across the map.
It's really bad for Vega that Ursa keeps dying, because if Electra keeps dying, that's fine. Gyro can carry his weight, but if Ursa keeps dying, I don't think Queen of Pain can carry the weight. Just
is it really that bad, though, if you can just get like Aegis Immortal in for Ursa? Like, that's...
Yeah, that's pretty good. And they need track kills there for him, but he's never there for the track kills. So his influx of gold is at a minimum.
True.
Hookshot looks like...
He really needs that first Roshan to work for him.
Yeah, he does.
Like, that's really the way he gets back into this game. But now the Bounty Hunter's being a lot more effective.
He has a mech?
What? So, well, I suppose when you get that much money, he's a team player.
He's #3 on worth. That's absurd.
He needs more help, though. And it's the smoke coming in right now from Seema as well as Mag. Forced, well, they're glimpsing straight back into the ultimate. He might like get his cooldown off, but that mech of Solo repairing all of the damage. He went Arcane Boots, so he's got the mana to support the usage of the mech.
That's just incredible that he has this much farm.
I'm wondering now if he could also go into something more like a Yule Scepter so he can control the SB, but actually have the mana regeneration. Like, the pool's there, but he doesn't have the great mana regen. Oh, they're charging in for this. Well, they're pushing him back. Funnick, get the hell out of there. Glimpsed away. Mag. There's those cogs splitting up the fight again and isolating Saneko. The battery assault stopping him from getting that fissure off. He's going to go down. Mag will be just as unlucky, though, with that pulse over from Denny doing serious work up against the Ursa, too. He did not want to be there. And Solo, he needs an escape mechanism. But what is really here? Nothing, because the Edict's doing its work. And Solo, 21 HP he dropped down to. He is running away. Then he was out, and he will survive 14 to 13. They keep the bounty alive. Barely. Now that Ursa cannot fight. He cannot fight.
Now without Aegis.
He's 3.1k now. He's got less net worth than the Chen. This is a problem. This is a real problem. Unless they just turn bounty into a core now. And Ursa is just merely a mean, like, he's a catalyst. He's the way they kill Roshan, but he's not the way they win the game.
I don't know. I found Bounty Hunter might be able to do stuff though, just because I mean, having a mech, or he might be going for Guardian since he already has the Arcane and mech. Like having him this far early in the game can almost compensate for that, because if he can survive the AoE burst from Leshrac, from Earthshaker, and of course keep Earthshaker from getting Blink Dagger, that's going to be a really big deal.
Yep.
He's been dying to the clockwork in a fair amount of these engagements, but. Yeah, I mean, it's very heavily on this Roshan. I mean, I would like to see Ursa go more early game items too. I don't know what he's saving up for. Most likely Blink Dagger, but like if he has treads and like bracers and even a Vlad's, then maybe he can survive one more fight so that they can win that crucial fight that they need for Roshan. Instead, he's at the 1200 gold, most of it unreliable because he hasn't got any kills, and he just keeps losing gold over and over with each one of these fights.
He needs something. Because again, Na'Vi are going to force the issue before they can get comfortable, and with taking out the tier 1 tower in the mid and the bottom, as well as the top, that's actually all the tier 1 towers down for Vega, their ability to control Roshan is becoming a lot more difficult. If that tier 2 tower drops on bottom, then Vega lose a heavy amount of control of the map where they really want it. Like, they want to make sure that Roshan, they can always bring in support. This stupid bear right now is making life impossible for Vega, because they can't even smoke into the pit. So Pasha is forced to move into the jungle to become that farmer. He can't go out in the top because he's going to get initiated on by the Spirit Breaker, because none of his team want to come that close.
One big problem with Vega's lineup is they can't actually take down towers. Like, maybe a farmed Ursa, but all the T1s are still up, and Queen of Pain is decent getting kills, so is Bounty Hunter, but they can't actually transition that into any objective.
You know what you need? You need the classic Desolator build in the Bounty Hunter.
That is it's nice. They can just pop Earthshaker. He's actually pretty darn close to his Blink Dagger.
Oh, well,
that's close enough.
They're chasing him. There's a lot behind him. Earn charges. Solo going to go straight back to Invis. Attacks and slows him down, but there's a lot of support arriving at that tier 1 tower. So they cannot force the issue at all.
Okay, so they're going Medallion. Maybe they can take down Roche quickly enough. I mean, generally what people do when they're in this sort of situation where they can't actually do Roche is to push the side lanes. Push mid, push bottom, and if they don't respond, you take the towers and then do Roche. If they do respond, then you always threaten Roche
from
and
behind.
Keep them around.
Havos wants to have a run over at Seema, but at the same time, you've got to keep your eyes peeled, and that Bounty Hunter. The ping came out from Earthshaker saying, I'm fairly certain Chen just got tracked from the back lines.
Bounty Hunter can't play as cheekily as he normally would though, because if he like tracks and then like
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
sick hook shot from Mag. And Navi's lineup, on the other hand, can take towers very easily with the Chen, with the Leshrac. They're just melting all of these, and Roshan control shall soon be theirs.
It will be. And Vega's got no openings. Saneko now jumping up to the top lane, blink, and he's going to follow up with the extra stun. There is a charge on the way, so they'll keep the vision on Pasha. And Pasha, he can't fight. He's being kited out right now because of the cooldown of a Vost, and he'll drop. The Lightning was also arriving at the same time, but this Ursa is just dead time and time again. It's mounted on 5 different walls at the moment. And now Funnick got that glimpsing back into the ultimate of Seema. Ensures the kill quite heavily with the commitment of the Sonic Wave, but it's an Aghanim Scepter, so he's fine with it. Cooldown is nice and low. So they're still finding trade-offs.
At least Ursa purchases Blink, so he's not in that infinite loop of losing gold and being not very useful.
He's capable of doing something. The problem is just when he keeps getting initiated on. If that continues to happen, then oh wow, okay, that's a good pullback. Dandy tracked up because they obviously going to keep that vision because of the track. But Mag had no intention of going in there. There's no hook shot available, and Solo doesn't really have much more to give. He doesn't have damage. He's all about that sustain for the team.
Navi's doing a very good job of pushing out the lanes, pushing towers, and controlling Roshan. I think they're handling this Ursa pressure extremely well. And most teams, like, yeah, you give them first Roche, and then you're like, crap, we can't fight him. We can't fight him. You wait 5 minutes, and then they've already secured so much map control because you've had to wait for so long. So the best way to deal with an Ursa is to prevent the first Roshan.
Well, they've done it perfectly. Pasha wants to try and keep farming, but there's more support coming over. It's Seneka who managed to find himself an Invis rune. No one's on the high ground, and what a time to blink away. Away from Seneka, that Sonic Wave hitting on 3 players. The Hand of God's going to repair a lot of the damage, and in comes Mag, trying to split the fight up, and now Pasha could try and man mode in, but the Chen army is controlling him. The Cogs are pushing Dendy back. He's going to deny himself now out. Arthur's still going to tick out. It's a Shadow Strike that's on him down the tree line, so he'll end up being denied up, in fact, by the Spirit Breaker. It's a 3-for-2 trade-up, but with the denial, it's definitely going the way of Na'Vi. Seema, the ulti controlling up Seneka. Funnick still wants to retreat out of here too. He'll be successful in doing so. Of course, is there a glimpse? Is there something? There was a Shuri toss, but it wasn't thrown at the end of the day. So 19-17 at the end of the fight, and there was the buyback from the bounty hunter too late. So a 3-for-3 plus buyback.
And that's a completed BKB on Gyrocopter. And to counter that, you need a farmed Ursa. Or else he's just going to get stunned while you try and man up on the BKB Gyro. And that item is just not out there right now for him. But Queen of Pain closing in on a BKB of her own. They did nail that bear inside the pit. Let's see if Art Style is vigilant enough to send in more. And
he's already bringing another Watchman.
There's just no window for Ursa to do this without the towers down.
You basically have to kill off Chen, take out his entire army, and then go for Roshan.
Or just win one team fight.
Yeah.
Or take down the tower from T1. There are other options.
So you know that Na'Vi can't contest.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, you have to take out, Earthshaker and Gyro. Like, these two basically have to die. Or else you're not going to be able to get into the pit and be secure in what you're doing. The SB is still manageable, in a way. Is it almost possible for... Actually, does Na'Vi even need to? Like, take Roshan.
Well, it would certainly take a lot of pressure off them.
Yeah.
They definitely can. I mean, Gyro's pretty darn strong. They have Chen creeps to tank. They have mech for heal. And they have send back in case the carry gets in a lot of trouble.
Speed charging in. Solo's right behind him, however, so he'll track up Funnick to push back. Seneko splitting the fight up with the fissure. And Seema in the tree line. He may decide to throw it. It's only that she passed him down to the low ground. He's kind of stuck here, going to be denied up by the neutrals. The Ancients being there, and Solo needs to run away. Troll Trap not going to make this easy, and he'll end up dropping down. The charge kept the vision. And that's 2 players lost for Vega. One of them, yes, one was but
Funnick's too lucky. He got too many bashes.
RNGesus, man. So how many is it? So the initial charge, the bump back, there's your first real bash, and then he gets a second one here that puts Seema down on the low ground. And he did break the tree, so potentially he could have gotten around the corner of that. But he walks directly into the golems. I don't know if you take aggro if you slip around the top. Either way.
That's really bad for Vega. With Ursa, I mean, what has he really done in most of these fights is usually like get called down, walk around for a little bit with Enrage on, and then die. And then
even the one time when he had the fight when he was in front of him, like the Chen army controlled him the entire time. There's nowhere to move.
And there's Lightning Storm on top of that on a very short cooldown. He has to maneuver around the fissure, and even if he gets BKB, he gets controlled by Spirit Breaker. So the correct the best play is to get an Aegis so you can just tank all those spells, your teammate comes in and cleans up, and then you get some track kills, and then you're good. Then you can get BKBs, more items, and keep on farming. But that break point has just never come for Pasha, and he is just, he can't do anything.
Yeah, it really is, because coming down to that, it's the perfect timing for Na'Vi, and they've made the most out of it.
As opposed to Spirit Breaker. Like, Spirit Breaker has less net worth than Ursa, but he's been doing a lot more. He's been able to charge the Bounty Hunter constantly, so he hasn't been able to keep tabs on the Na'Vi side. He's been charging Queen of Pain, getting kills on her. He's been killing the Ursa over and over, so he can't split push and farm. And the presence from the Spirit Breaker.
Na'Vi jump in, Echo Slam on solo with no one. Can they get the kills? The Trap Roll is going to make this difficult for them, however. And in comes Pasha as well. In the middle of the fight, he's going to try and mop up Artstyle, but he can't finish the job until the Scream will finally come in. But the Chen army is still doing the work. The Ursa is a non-factor. The Sonic Wave's hitting on 3, but still Na'Vi have enough life to continue the siege for the moment. No one can't put anyone down. The Chen was the only one to die, but it cost Vega so much to do it, and the buyback from the Quap.
My goodness, these fights are so costly. What an engage. Huge Echo Slam. Sees the moment his team's already all walking there.
Even keeping Pasha out, like he threw the Fissure forward to make sure Pasha couldn't even jump. He had to wait so long before he could use that Bling Dagger. 3 full seconds in a fight before he can come in. And by that point, the control factors were gone. And the Chen army again. It's just one Troll Trap, one Centaur Stomp. That's all that's required to do it.
Yeah, great. I mean, they're getting so much out of each and every one of these 5-man plays too. And Vega, like, yeah, Bounty Hunter, he does have a lot of benefits. He was able to get a lot of kills early, get the mech, but in these sort of situations, like, mech can only do so much to save your team. There is just incredible amounts of damage with the Echo, the call down, Leshrek's AoE potential, and they're giving Vega like a little bit of what they like to play, just tons of AoE fight, and Vega actually shifted away from that a lot.
They may get to shift back again into it. The series is gonna draw around a little bit longer.
Well, that's why the draft was really interesting, because Vega got what they wanted last time. This time they counter the Queen of Pain pick with 2 even more heavy AoE damage heroes with the Leshrek and the Gyrocopter.
I think Vega still would have been very comfortable. This is the Bounty Hunter for me, which like, it did a lot of work early on, but now as the team fights begin, you're just realizing how much work it's not going to do. Like if he, I don't even gonna say if he shut down the Chen more, because I think Artstyle was still pretty much controlled. Artstyle's only major play at the early stages of this game was put a tomato smasher inside the pit.
Here we go with the yellow smoke. It's going to pop.
Saneko, big jump, but a 5-man Fissure! The charge is coming in from Funnick. The cooldown's also on its way. The wall's keeping away, but a Vorce has a BKB. And Pasha, how much damage can you do this time? The Sonic Wave is there. He runs over to Funnick, but the Troll Trap again. GG, well played! The game is over. The game is done and dusted. 27 minutes in, and Vega, they got wrecked.
They did.
To put it really simply, they got wrecked.
Their draft was very well constructed. I think all of us favored Vega's draft a little bit more. But the Bounty Hunter he got so much farm. He got so many kills, and they still couldn't just elevate this Ursa to any level of relevance.
Yep. They couldn't make space for him, really.